Wake up, everybody. It's what time it is. I don't know where you is. I don't know who you is. But I know that we are out here on the spiritual ranch right now. And it's a beautiful day out here on the spiritual ranch. And my name is Sheshnok. I am as I am, you know. I'm the off-grid oracle. And we're here to check in on the weather, right? And like I said, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weather out here in the physical, in the 3D right now. It's beautiful out here on Spiritual Ranch, man. We got beautiful, beautiful blue skies, just dark, dark blue skies with lots of sun, lots of warmth, you know. The grass is growing crazy. I swear the grass grew 6 inches yesterday. I watched it, you know. Been doing a lot of work in the garden, you know. That's why the reeds. I'll probably be doing 2 or 3 weeds a week. I don't know, but I want to do more. I love doing the reeds. Actually, it's been really, really good thing for me. You know, I really appreciate everybody who's joining me in that out here, you know, and participating. Though few, we powerful, you know, and that's been known for a long time. Somebody I'd like to give props to. I'd like to give a shout out to Connecticut Connection, I think. Connecticut Conduit, I think. But anyhow, her name's Amanda, and she's probably in Connecticut. So word up, Amanda. She's been reading a lot in my energy here lately. She's been spot on. She's been very accurate. And I appreciate all of that, any effort. You know, when we channel each other's energies like that, it requires that we put a bit of ourselves into that, you know, and so that's a very personal experience. And so when we resonate deeply with each other, I think it's important that we really bring value to that. I think it's really important that we acknowledge that, especially on this community, you know, because the YouTube is honestly, it's a very powerful tool for us to connect on a metaphysical level, but on a worldwide scale, you know? And so, like, we can all be really connected with each other, especially us most powerful ones. And we are connected. I mean, that's evident by the fact that her reads would resonate so strongly in my energy, so accurately in my energy, you know? And so, most likely we're having a shared experience in that, I would say, because we're the part of the collective, you know? And so I'm finding it very important to mention these people on my channel, you know? I've got a channel here that I'm trying to build and everything, but it's not about building it for ego or for financial reasons. It's about building it for connectivity, because it's become very difficult to connect with people on the in the physical, in the 3D even, you know. It's like, it's very much easier now in the 5D to connect with people, because honestly, like, people are so distant and so afraid. They're so internal, you know, and that's a byproduct of the internet, you know, which is crazy, right? And so that's like crazy. It's like this thing was introduced to the world that was supposed to bring us more connectivity, and it did in this sense of the 5D, because I connect with people spiritually, like who's in Connecticut or who's in North Dakota or who's in whatever part of the world that they could be in, because anybody has access to that stuff on YouTube, right? But it's so difficult to make friends today in the real world. I mean, people are so standoffish. It's so weird, you know? And so, like, it's important to me to start to acknowledge these things, you know, and give the shout outs to the people who I connect with on that ethereal plane in that 5D, and make it about, like, love, you know, because yeah, we could be totally in love with each other and be like 2,000-3,000 miles away from each other, but just connected in that love that is God, that is divine, that is the Most High. I mean, that's us. We're the chosen ones, man. We got to be able to connect deeply on a very intimate level, the same level that we would be willing to connect with ourselves, because that's what we're being called to do, you know? And so if we don't give reverence to that, if we don't recognize that, if we don't acknowledge that, then we're missing an opportunity to bring that light to the world that God's asking us to bring, you know? And that's how we can do that collectively and cooperatively, you know? We can do it in the 5D, in the metaphysical, and we can exist in this physical plane miles, thousands of miles apart, millennia, planets apart, because it's universal. I mean, I could have divine counterparts of mine that are on Palladius or on, like, different fucking places in the world. Who knows? Or in the universe. Who knows where? On all planes, dead or alive, right? And so I've even found myself on YouTube, because I've listened to the tarot read. I've learned how to navigate the spiritual skills. You know, my spiritual tool set. I've gotten familiar with that. It's always been with me, but how to use it, I was not aware of, you know? So it's like I had a skill saw in my tool chest, you know, but nobody had really taught me how to use it, right? And I knew it was there, but I didn't know how to use it. And so I had other tools as well. I've got lots of tools, you know, I got every tool I need. God's taught me how to do damn near everything, man. And so like, but my spiritual, being able to put that all together and understand the true value of my entire tool chest instead of seeing each individual tool and trying to be like, I can't use that one, or like I could use that one, or using tools wrong, or using tools for the wrong things. I've learned how to use my spiritual tools properly from other readers and other people in the spiritual community, such as Amanda, you know, in Connecticut, because like I watch her navigate her tool chest, and then that teaches me how to navigate mine, right? And vice versa, I hope. And so that's the kind of community I'm trying to build here, you know? It's like, it's just really hard to get people to just even view your stuff. And I don't think that's like completely algorithm. I understand people get more comments. And then there's sexual bias, which is like ridiculous, you know? Because if you're an attractive woman on the... in the 5D nowadays, there's so much predatory fucking bullshit out here that you just get blown the fuck up, and so you get all this attention. Whereas a guy like me, shit, I'm swimming in muddy water, man. But that's okay. It's what it is, you know, and that makes me have to really focus more on my message. I have to be really accurate in what it is that I'm saying if I intend to build a trusting community of people who are willing to work like that with God as the collective, you know? I mean, come on now, man. We got to think about that. You know, and I'm not saying, I mean, Amanda's an attractive person. I'm not saying that she utilizes that. In fact, the reason I appreciate her energy is because she has a clean energy. She brings a lot of purity to it. It's not temptation, you know, she stays away from that. And so that's good. That's healthy. That's strong. And that's powerful. And so we share in that, right? That's good, man. I like that. Anyhow, I've been thinking about that. Try to think about what I'm doing, because I'm a very personal person, you know, and I don't put myself out there, really. I don't at all, because you know, it's just so difficult with trying to navigate other people's egos and your own ego, and then not get caught up in that tempest, you know, that storm, man. And I'd rather not, so I stay away from it a lot. And I find that a lot of the material on like Instagram and all these other fucking places like that are it's just so shallow. It's just so shallow. I mean, it really is. It's just shallow, you know. And I don't swim in shallow water. I like the deep water, you know. And so YouTube's got a little bit of depth to it, and it has that potential to really reach a big, broad audience of people who hopefully will come dive into the deep end with you and be willing to learn how to navigate those waters. And then we could spearfish with God. We could take out the sharks, right? That's what we're trying to do, man. So anyhow, that's my rant. I like to get a little bit off my chest before I start to fucking open up the table and everything. You know, if anybody's watched my view a couple times, you know, I got some people that do watch them, so you know what I do here. I like to get that off my chest, and then say my prayer. You know, we offer up some smoke to the spirits because they like that shit. They like that sweet smoke. We make some noise, and we call them in, man. We get them to come over here and talk to us, and then they're going to share with us what the spiritual weather is out here on these streets, because this is the ethereal, man. This is Earth. And this is Earth's little sister. This is the moon, right? This illuminates Earth in the nighttime. And we got the sun over here, which is the fire that brings us all the passion and everything, the growth, you know, and drives this motherfucker, man. And so, like I said, my name is Shesh Shoshesh, no way. I am as I am, as the Most High taught me to be, you know. And they use me to deliver onto the world the things that they choose to deliver onto the world through me, you know. That's what they do. And so, they've had me out here in the garden a lot. You know, I've been working hard in the garden. It's just me out here. I'm completely alone. I live in isolation completely, you know. And so I do all the work by myself. It's just me and a little guy. And so I've been busy, you know. I want to share more of that with the community. I'm trying to build a community. I want to be educational as well, you know. It's not just about listening to my bullshit. And so it's just really hard to get everything done, you know, and then while also filming it. I'm not at all tech savvy, you know. I don't even know how to pause the video and start again. I mean, it's pretty bad. Like, I just push video and like hope it's running, you know. Like, even right now, I don't even know if it's working, man. Half the time, you know, yeah, it's working. So that's good. But that's just what it is. God made me primitive, you know. And that's why I have my ancient name in an ancient language and an ancient tongue, you know. But they want me to share, you know, what I'm doing, because I'm doing a lot of really experimental stuff out here in my garden this year. I've been doing this stuff for eternity. You know, I'm familiar with the garden. I come from the garden, you know, and so, but I'm really, Spirit's been really opening up a lot of doors. You know, they've been showing me just how easy it can be, you know, and that's cool, man. And I'm gonna develop this, and then once I get the main bulk of the work done, because I'm putting everything in this year, I'm trying to get it all planted and everything, and that's a lot of work for one person. It's just fucking raw mountain out here when I got here. I had to cut down trees and everything, you know. I've been burning stuff and real busy trying to get this garden in. But once I get it in, I get it flourishing. I'm gonna start to show everybody exactly what it is I'm doing and how we can do this thing, how we can feed each other and live in peace and harmony on God's green earth, and not have to struggle with all this money shit and this crazy shit that's going on around us that needs to stop, man. These people only want to fight war. That's not because of grief. We have no grief with the Russian people. It's not because of food or being able to feed ourselves even, you know. Like, those people are strong because they have a better understanding of how to do that. Actually, they got their dachas and stuff out in the mountains and shit. They're smart, you know. We need to be more smart like that. We got to wean ourselves off of this system. And in my garden and with my tongue, that Spirit has forged into a double-edged sword. I'm gonna teach this, you know. I can show us how, you know. God's gonna show me, and then through me we can see, and then we'll learn, right? And that's what we're doing together. It's cool. It's a beautiful thing. And so, Most High Spirit, I'm calling the Spirit today. I want to ask y'all, man, please use my tongue like that sword that you made it as, you know. Got a lot of people out here trying to listen right now, and they're trying to hear, but we got to have the messages on the up reels if they're going to hear it, you know, and that's the way it's going to work, you know. We can't expect everybody to fucking just know shit. We got to tell them. You've been telling me my whole life, you know. You taught me so much about how it all works. You taught me the ins and the outs of it all, and you've given me so much love, you know. And I ask that today you come in here and you use me the way that that you used yourself when you educated me, you know. You know, you made me this special, a sharp sword, man. Double-edged sword that's got a lot of fire, you know, and a lot of truth, you know. You made me into your Excalibur, and so in your hand, I'm a mighty weapon, you know. Alone, I'm stuck in the rock, and so you came along like Arthur, and you removed me from that stone, and you made me something powerful that can speak your word, that can teach your wisdom, that can show your truth to this world that's around us, man. That's a blessing. That's a big blessing, man. That's a grace, it's a blessing, that's everything, you know. You've disguised me as who and what I am, you know, and you taught me how the world's fearful because others have feared me, but now you're showing me I'm the light, and I walk through the darkness now, and I illuminate it, and that's because of you, God. King of Kings, man, the most mighty, the most high, the one who created me in their image out of pure love, man. Just know I want to be that in your image. I want to be what you made, you know. I want to be what you see in yourself, because that's what we are when we're the most powerful, you know. And so, please protect us all. Protect the ones that listen. Protect the ones that don't. Yeah. And thank you for everything that you've taken into my life and everything that you've taken out of my life. And I'm gonna speak some truth here. Send your spirits down. Yeah. I like my playful ones, man, but we gotta listen to your serious ones too every once in a while. Yeah? And so, I love watching you kick ass, God. I really fucking do, man. I really fucking do, you know. Admire it, you know. Love it, admire it. You know, I want to be like that. I want to be more and more a part of that all the time. So, I love you, Most High. Amen. All right, y'all. We love God, right? Give it up. Hail Most High. That's what I say. Give it up to the Most High One, man, because they are here, man. They're here for you. They're here for me. They're here for all of us. You know what I'm saying? And always, they're teaching us how to be powerful, you know? And that's a beautiful thing. The more powerful that we learn how to be, the better this world's going to be, a better place, because we got that power that's good inside of us. We got that power that brings peace, not war. We got that power that brings wisdom, not ignorance, you know? And that's what we are working on here today. I'll put some other stuff in my fire here, dude. I just got that out. I've been burning bay leaf, you know, everywhere I can get around here. I put some fat wood in there, though. Now I need to pick some more bay leaf to get it drying. That fat wood smells really good. It's like Doug fir. It's a conifer, you know. It smells nice. A little bit of grandpa sage in there. I put a little bit of that, not the white sage, the other one, man. It grows out in the desert. Well, both do, I guess, but it's just western sage, I think, but it's not black sage, I don't believe. It's a sage, anyhow. It smells fucking good, man. What the hell was that? Hey, don't fucking throw shit at me, Spirit. Anyways, so Yeah, we love God. We thank God for the messages that they deliver. We thank God for everything we have, you know, and that's what we're doing, right? And if we ain't doing that, this is white sage right here. This is the other sage. This is the white sage. This is the good stuff. We love it. We say thanks and praise to God Most High. We don't bow in front of the devil ever. We understand who the bringer of light is. We know what the fuck we're doing. We have a divine space in our hearts, you know, that's protected. And so that's why we speak the word of God, you know. That's why God speaks the word through us, right? All right, Spirit. Let's play, man. Come on, Spirit. Spirit. Holy Spirit, what's up? How you doing today, Spirit? Yeah? Hello, Spirit. Yeah. My spirit's like wintertime, you know, tell you the truth, they like summertime, but it's a little different vibe, you know, it's kind of the off season a little bit. I was raised up in rainforest, you know, temperate rainforest, that's what it is here too. Not necessarily where I'm at, that's in, maybe over here in this one draw I got, because I got redwood trees. Those redwood trees technically require 100 inches a year of rain to grow into a grove. So I work with the mushrooms, that's why I got them on my table, you know, right, Spirit? Don't be a fuck off. They said they like summer just fine. Yeah, fuck you guys. I mean, I mean, that's what they said. They say they like summer just fine. It's just different. They say they like everything that God creates. What the hell do I know, right? They said speak for yourself. Just so shit's not on the way. Alright, well, guys, I don't want to speak for myself. I want to speak for you. It's the guy my tongue proper so I'll make mistakes like that. Please, let's do this there. Come on, Spirit. What do you want to talk about, Jay, Spirit? What's your world, huh? You can't hear listen to my bullshit. Correct me and make me right, right? Alright, we'll try this, Spirit. If you're going to correct me and make me right, right, Spirit? I will do that. I will do that. Yeah. Get a little light on there. I can't see anything. I don't know. I see all right. Everything. I'm not blind, but dark, man. I don't know. Okay. Well, today this is ASUC Underground. No cash value. You know, these tokens don't got cash value, but that's what's going on in this fucking world today, you know? ASUC. So, suck. Yeah? Well, spit it out your mouth and start sucking, I think is what that code means there, because it's the underground, right? And so whatever they're doing right there, suck on it. They ain't telling the fucking truth, man. They're trying to get you to do fucking weirdo shit that you don't want to fucking do. Because George Washington's coming out here again, but George Washington's getting his ass whooped. He's not shot in the throat. He just beat the fuck up. Right? And that's why he's coming out right in between the suck, like this sucks, right? ASUC. Suck underground. Yeah, suck underground. For sure. And here's the freedom coin, you know. But this embattled George Washington token right here. This ain't like the George Washington token that got shot in the throat, you know. This one's been running its mouth too fucking much and it ain't got no value no more. That's why it's so beat up, you know. And so it's out here trying to flaunt itself, trying to pretend like it's something it ain't, and it got its shit kicked out of it. So it's like, this sucks. Well, yeah, it does suck because you're trying to start a nuclear war by being stupid, man. And that's going to cost all of us our freedom. And that's why this is going on real closely on this world, because they're trying to destroy this motherfucking thing with this bullshit. And that's why the ancient ancestors are out here too. But these are also embattled ancient ancestors. You see this? You can't even tell, man. They don't even know what the fuck they are, right? And so even the ancestors, I feel like they're getting their asses whooped, and they're saying, you're either gonna suck it or spit it out, right? What the fuck we doing here? This is crazy. And we got the Coke bottle tucked up right up underneath here with this beat up fucking goddamn George Washington coin, because everybody knows there is no currency there. We're all in fucking debt, and it's time to pay the fucking debt collector, man. They're here to get their fucking money, right? And we ain't got it, and it's gonna cost us our fucking freedom. That's why the fucking, Pinnacles coins come right here. That's Earth, right? Earth on Earth. But that's that money coin. That's that Pinnacles coin. That's that fucking material. What's in the material, right? That's the material. What's in the material is poisoning you. It's killing you. And it's costing you everything that you fucking have. And they're lending everything that you have away, man. So you have fucking nothing. Actually, you have negative of fucking nothing. You are in the fucking hole right now. And that's every single one of us. And that's why nobody's listening to their fucking intuition. Everybody's just throwing everything they got out there on the fucking world right now. They got their fucking dick in their hand. And they got their legs spread. They're like, oh, I hope I can fucking profit off of this. Well, you're a fucking idiot. And whatever it is that you two fucking demon motherfuckers out there are going to spawn, because one's got their legs open, the other one's got their dick in their hand, is going to destroy the whole fucking world. Probably going to be a mushroom cloud. And that's not the mushrooms that I fucking want to sit under, y'all. Just saying. That's what's going on. That sucks. Right? A-S-U-C. Suck. Or spit it out, motherfucker. Quit playing games. That's what I said. That might be why I only get fucking 4 or 5 views at a time, but I don't care. It's not what it's about. I'm speaking to the ethereal. I'm in the ethers here. I'm yelling out at the top of my lungs. I'm getting it loud from the top of my mountain. And the broadcast, the signal that I'm fucking sending out, it's going to reach out there all over the place. It's a million G. And it's going to outdo their 5G, their 6G. They're playing with fucking child's play shit. And I got the divine connection. They can fuck themselves. Elon Musk could put a million motherfucking things out here around us fucking trying to make a grid, but my grid overpowers his grid because it's from God high, most divine. And it's going to destroy any fucking thing that they're trying to motherfucking do, and that's what's happening. And y'all going to see that. The whole world is standing around, and all these nasty fucking energies right here are standing out there trying to watch from the ethers. They think they got control, and they ain't got jack shit but their dicks in their hands. Some whore with their legs spread. That whore of Babylon with their legs spread sitting on top of that fucking beast, you know? And they think they're going to give birth to destruction, and they're going to give birth to jack shit. It's going to be aborted. That's what God says. Abort this fucking mission now. Now, he says, I'm already going to fucking destroy you, but we can make it worse. If you, we'll fucking make a plea bargain here. I can just destroy you. I don't have to torture you. But if you keep going, we're going to give you the maximum offense, and that's not going to be good for you, motherfuckers. Not at all. And that's what God has to say today. That's what the Spirit's got to say today. Sounds to me like they're pissed off. Sounds to me like they're really angry. Sounds to me like they don't fucking like what the fuck is going on right now over there in fucking Russia and shit. Sounds to me like they don't fucking like at all what's going on in this fucking world right now, and how the chosen are being treated, and how these fucking low-ass motherfucking karmic piece of shit motherfuckers out here are just walking the fuck all over us, trying to destroy everything, trying to ruin our beauty. We're going to do something about that, though. We are. And that's a simple solution, even. There's simple solutions to this fucking problem, because really, like I got my garden, you know, we all have our spaces that we can work in that increase our residence, you know, and so they can't block us in the ethereal, man. And so when we sit down and we fucking put it out there, even if it fucking falls, even if it falls on no ears, it falls on the ears of the algorithm. And when they block you, they're acknowledging your divine presence. And that's where they fucking go wrong, man. And their attempts to disguise you, they expose you as God's chosen, and that's how we're going to show the world. That is the thief that comes in the darkness, right? That's the thief that comes at night. Amen. That is what we are, man. That is what we are. That is why we can stand in our own and say, I am as I am, because that's how Father taught me and that's how Father made me. And everybody that doesn't understand that anything else can fall to the wayside and know what the fuck it is, man. If you don't like the light, if it hurts your eyes, then go hide in the darkness. My light's so bright, I see in the darkness, though, so you cannot hide. And through my eyes, the Most High sees, as with my tongue they speak. They are the Spirit Most High. And if you want to hide in the darkness, you're fucked. That's what it is. All things that are in the darkness come into the light. And that's why these ancestors right here, these motherfuckers right here, that are all, you can't even recognize them and shit. Because they sold their souls out so fucking bad that they're going down with the ship too. They know it. They're doomed, man. And that's why they're kind of coming out here by the fire, which is the sun, which is the light, because that's being illuminated. All of us are ancestral shedding right now. We're shedding right now because we're all going fucking broke, and it sucks. We're realizing that. It sucks, but it's underground, right? You know, it sucks. It's underground. It's like that fucking burdock root. We're realizing that our shadow's killing us. It's creating ego that we can't back, and that's gonna cost us our fucking freedom, man. That's gonna cost us our freedom, our coin, and our fucking health, because the Coke bottle represents sick motherfuckers. That's what that represents, always. Always, you know? And like around here, we work with God's Green Earth. And so we're gonna pull some cards here. And I don't know what the hell that was, but we're gonna pull some cards here off of this deck, which is just wild plants. No, it's just poker deck with wild plants in it. But this deck right here, I've been fighting, has a lot of wisdom in it. I like it. Like I got it like 59 cents at a gas station somewhere or whatever. I just thought school at the herb store. It might have been like $2 or something. They're expensive though. Sure got, you know. Anyway, that's beside the point. Well, fuck all that. Funny part, I get my herbs for free right out here off the mountain, so I guess I can afford a fucking deck, you know. They're doing their thing. Anyhow, back to the point we're trying to make. Let's see what the fucking spirit. You get some energies on this here with these plants. We see the we'll see what God's living kingdom has to say about this kingdom of death right here that's got the earth surrounded, you know, because they suck. Yeah, they suck, you know. They suck. They come from the underground. It's a dark web, man. They're these motherfuckers out here been throwing rocks, hiding their fucking hands, you know. They've been listening to that fucking mineral kingdom and not enough to that spirit kingdom, you know. They worship these things like oil, like fucking gold, like silver, like, you know, money. They've created money, you know. They've taken things that are not as abundant on earth, apparently, you know, but that lasts a long time. They've created value around those things so that they can create a false sense of value around all kinds of things on earth, you know. And so now they're rich and we're poor, and they're worshiping dead things while we try to worship life, you know. And they want us to feel like we don't have anything to live on while they got everything, but everything they have is dead, you know. Right, Spirit? The Spirit says, fuck yeah. Of course it's right. They say, man, don't be a dumbass, dude. That's what they tell me. They say, don't be a dumbass because it's your tongue that we're speaking with, brother. Yep. And so on the we got 2 coins on the earth coin right here, and that's because, yeah, man, our coin's being juggled, and that's the whole point of everything. You know, the only thing that's worth anything on this planet is what's living. And so right now they have us chasing after everything that's dead and trying to put that into our fucking coffers, you know, and trying to use that in a future date, in a future time, you know. But yeah, you can't because it's dead, you know. Once it's dead, it's dead. It has a fucking a shelf life at that point. You know, the only thing that lasts forever is that which is living, and that's you and your heart. That's you and your soul. That's where your abundance lies. That's your true coin. That's your true stability. Bank with God, you know, and don't fall for the lower things that they're trying to sell to us all right now, because they're trying to get you to jungle your true value, you know, your gold, your pities in heaven with the material shit that you have on earth, and that's causing your seeds to be in an uproar. Emotionally, you're unbalanced now because they've got you addicted and they got you questioning, you know, what's more valuable. You got one coin in one hand, you got the other coin in the other, and you're juggling them things. And there's 2 seas behind. There's 2 ships on those seas behind you. They're going topsy turvy. That's that card. That's that card in the tarot, right? We'll pull some tarot to clarify. We'll see. But that card is telling you, what do you value more? You know, your pities in heaven or your pities on earth? You know, right now, because these pities on earth are attached to that Coke bottle, right? And see, that Coke bottle is coming out here as 2 swords, and the 2 of swords is chickweed. Purselane is the Purselane is that 2 of coins, right? Purselane and chickweed, they grow together. I don't have no purslane out here, but I got chickweed. Chickweed is abundant. Chickweed is abundant, but also see purslane. Purslane is it's a kind of small. It's kind of delicate. It's also called I believe that's what the corn salad I think is purslane as well. And so it grows wild, but really like out here, yeah, I might have purslane. I have to check into that, but it's a small plant, you know, and it's a very delicate, real juicy, real succulent little plant, you know, and it's not super aggressive. Like it is aggressive. It'll come up aggressively as a seedling, but it doesn't take over like burdock does. And it's kind of short lived. It does its thing, makes seed, then dies and everything. You know, and it's kind of a low growing, real tender little plant. Everything likes to eat it. It's very healthy for you. You know. In fact, I'm pretty sure it has omega oils in it and stuff. Like it's very good. It's very healthy for you. Purslane's one of those that you should put more of in your diet. It has other acids, oxalic acids, stuff like that are really good for you as well. You know. And so that purslane. It's like basically that's like God's abundance. You know, that purslane is telling you to see that the two of swords in your life is the chickweed that's coming out here with the Coke bottle. And so that's the other coin. That's why you got two twos here, you know. And so the individual in the two of pentacles who's juggling those coins, right, is also in the two of swords because they're trying to make a decision. And they have the power to make the right decision. The swords are in their hands, right? You know, but they don't have the vision to understand what decision it is that they're making, you know. They can speak. They haven't been damaged in their throat chakra, but their eyes are bound. They can't see, right? But their hands are not. And so they're feeling that their vision is blocked, you know, and so they can't make the right choice, and they're kind of scared because if you just start swinging them swords, right, then you might cut out the things that you might whack down all of your purslane, and then you're gonna have if you whack down, you know, like if you whack down all your purslane, that would be letting the chickweed take over, kind of, because chickweed, even though chickweed's also very good, chickweed is a little bit more of it's kind of overwhelming, you know. It's kind of obnoxious. It's like really sticky. It sticks on you. It makes these little seeds that stick on everything, and it grows. It's real viney and it's really aggressive, you know. And so the chickweed can outgrow the purslane, you know, and dominate, kind of like the burdock, you know, like we talked about with the burdock and everything, you know. And so the chickweed is a viney. It's coming out with that two of swords, so it's a sword energy because you got those two swords in your hands, right? And it's like it's okay to have a little bit of chickweed, but chickweed doesn't provide the omegas and all that other shit. The purslane is actually, chickweed's medicinal and good. It's like it's useful, but it grows way more aggressive. So it's like it outgrows its usefulness, kind of, if you're not careful with it. Whereas the purslane, you can have all the purslane you want. It's really good. It's not gonna like outgrow anything else. You can use purslane as an undercrop. You know, you could grow it underneath the other plants like your broccoli or other stuff that grows up a little bit bigger, or your melons and stuff. And the purslane will cover your ground. It'll act like a weed deterrent because it'll cover the ground, and the purslane will grow, but the weeds won't. But it won't outcompete with your other plants, whereas the chickweed will, you know. And so the chickweed energy has those swords in your hands. The purslane energy, which is your thoughts, you know, it's like your decisions. It's like, what do you value intellectually? What do you value spiritually, you know, always spiritually. That's that fifth element. So it attaches to everything. Once you start to master the fifth element, you can attach the spirit to the sword. It's not just intellect now. It's how your intellect affects you spiritually. Same as with any other thing. If it was cups, two of cups, you've now gone to that fifth element. So that two of cups union is with God Most High. And that guides you in a union with others. You know what I'm saying? And so here you have the purslane in with that Most High energy saying, well, look, you know, you could use your spiritual abundance as purslane to keep the weeds out, to keep these weeds out that are going to dominate. And so it's not even about whacking everything down. It's like when you introduce spirit into your decision making in this two of swords energy with this Coke bottle, God shows you the things that are toxic in your life, or the things that are overwhelming your life, that are overbearing in your life, that are causing you blockages. And then God shows you that, hey, these two swords are in your hands, but you don't have to see. I'm going to guide them for you, you know. And so we're going to remove things from your garden that are causing you to feel in a situation where your abundance is compromised, because your spiritual abundance, once you have that, then material abundance just flows in. It's not a big deal because you have everything that you need. Right? Yeah, thank you, Spirit. Hey, thank you, Spirit. Like we gotta say thank you, Spirit, when they bring it in, man, because you know I don't do it. It's not me. You know, I'm just as confused as everybody else, man. Spirit's the one that makes sense, right? But I'm grateful for that. See, and that's why they have that Queen Anne's lace, right? That's wild carrot. I love I love wild carrot's great, man. Beautiful, you know. Like the only complaint that I would have with wild carrot is that it grows so fucking prolific out here, and it breeds with my carrots, and so it's hard to keep my carrot seed clean. But I just gotta separate them. That's what it is, and that's what God's trying to do, actually, with all of us, the chosen ones, right now. Because see, this is 3 of coins, and that means that our coins ain't gonna be fuck. We're making a deal with the Most High. You see, we're in union with the Most High. Like I said, when we bring Spirit to the fucking team, then that means that you're standing there with your Spirit team in front of Most High signing contracts and shit. And so they're going to fucking take care of you. You're going to have everything you fucking need. You're not in a two of coins position. You know damn good well that the swords that are in your hands, those are the swords of God Most High. And when you let Spirit make them choices for you, that you can walk around and see everything with them blindfold on. You don't have to worry about it. And the world don't got to see you either, you know? And that's the deal we made. And that's a good deal. And see, that's why our freedom is not compromised, you know, at all. See, this is us, like, you know, we're standing on the shores on the world here, right? And so this is the 3 of Wands, right? And that's 3 of Wands, which is Amaranth. Amaranth is very good, right? Amaranth is, you know, it's one of them I talk about. Again, it's like burdock, of course. It's good. These are all edible plants, you know. So these are all the things that abundance that is in God's kingdom. But that is kind of can be used against us too, you know, because that's the thing with the material world that we have to understand. We have to detach ourselves from all things in the material world. We can't be holding the world in the palm of our hands. We have to stand on the shores of the world and know that that our internal kingdom lies within us, you know, and that the world is our oyster in that sense. We've gained the world, now it's become a wand at our hands, so we could exercise our knowing. We can exercise our wisdom because we know that our wisdom comes only from God Most High, you know. And so the seeds in our garden that grow most abundantly and serve our purpose are planted there by God, you know. And like we could watch the individuals bob around in their ships out there, unaware of that reality still because they're seeking within their emotions. They haven't found what they're looking for yet, and that's why they're on them ships, you know. And we can't blame them for wanting to take a voyage, but at the same time, we can't let them make us feel that we're not on solid ground, that we can't make the decisions that we need to make. And that's what that is right there. That's why we are in a position where we're going to preserve our freedom with this amaranth, because amaranth is an abundance food. Amaranth is protein, you know. Amaranth grows like a weed, you know. It's like pigweed. You can eat it when it's spinach, when it's young, and it grows up and makes a grain, you know. And it comes up, you can even use it as a cover crop too, because if you don't let it go to seed, then doesn't become a problem. But if you let it grow to seed and you harvest the seeds, it still don't become a problem. You just gotta know how to use it. It's your wand, you know. It's those 3 wands. Amaranth grows like a big tree. It's like grows like a little pot plant. I don't know if you ever seen a pot plant, but it's like looks like a little Christmas tree, you know. And so it's got a lot of branches on it. There's a lot of branches on it, but each one of them branches bears fruit, and that's your magic. And that's what God's trying to tell you right now. Don't be in that 2 of coins situation where you can't make decisions over here at that two of swords, because them 2 swords are your swords, and you're going to cut that Coke bottle in half and empty the contents down on the fucking ground or into a proper containment for that kind of toxic waste, right? So you're going to eliminate it from your life, and then you're going to fucking manifest something that's abundant and proper for you and beautiful in your garden. That is the world right here. That's sitting right there. And that's why these energies are saying that to you. And gosh, that 4 of Wands, you know, the way it came out, I'm gonna keep that one still with this. I think they wanted to say more about that freedom coin, because that 4 of Wands popped right out on top of that fucking 3 of Wands, and of course it did, man. And that's arrowhead, you know, because that's the arrowhead, you know, that's fire, right? But with that arrowhead in there, that's fire with a little bit of air, you know. And so that's your divine union with God. The contract that you're signing is that you're signing an intellectual agreement with the Most High that you are now a spiritual warrior. You know? And that's your divine union now. And so you're in a divine union with God Most High, and nobody can take that away from you, you know, because that's a contract. That's a contract with the 4 of Wands on top of it, which means there's celebration in that contract. There's winning in that contract, you know. And the union that you're making is that divine connection of Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, which is that you have found your connection deeply with your spirit team now. And so you have direct communication to God Most High. And so you're that one unit. You're all three in one now, you know. You're the union of the metaphysical with the physical. And the birth, the thing that's going to come from your loins is going to be the thing that changes this world, you know. It's going to be a intellectual breakthrough that's going to change the direction that this world's going in, and involving our passions, you know, and how we love each other. That's what that is. And that's what you're going to teach, you know, and that's where the freedom lies. And that's why you made that agreement with God Most High. And they said, okay, well, cool. Well, you signed on that contract, and so now it's time to go to that next step, right? Let freedom ring, man. What's the energy on this? George Washington over here, man. Yeah, George Washington. So I'm beat the fuck up. I don't even know. Yeah, see? Cattail, right? And that's that George Washington that's battered right there and everything, you know? It's like, this sucks, you know? And I think that the King of Wands in this energy right now, it's cattail, because I talk about that one a lot. Again, this one comes out often for us, right? And that's the taming of the fires, you know? That's the whole being able to knowing when to start a fire and knowing how to start a fire, but knowing when to put it out, you know? And that's what's going on right here with the with this soldier here, you know, because honestly, like, that's what's happening. These are the examples that are being made out of the kings who their passions are being whetted, you know, because like they've had a passion for money and for power and for all this stuff, like with this this coin here, you know. That coin's not a shiny, bright new coin, you know. That's a coin that's kind of been put on the streets a little bit. It's been hoarded out, you know. It's been used, and it's been kind of lied to. And it's like lied to itself in the process of lying to others, you know. And that's the kings of the world today. But they need to tame that passion. It's like they're gonna have a little rain on their parade. That's why they're coming out in the cattail, because they need to cool it out, you know. They need to realize they need to master this energy of having passion about the right things, so that they can water their roots while they also can start fire with their intellectual thoughts, you know. So they'll have good fiery passions, because like a cattail has a lot of tenderness that grows on the top, and it's tender, right? It's tender, and so it has a tender top that can light up, you know. That could be like a torch, right? But it also has wet roots, and so even though it can ignite the ideas, it can flare the right ideas, and it can illuminate God's wisdom, then the roots are still watered, and that tower that supports that wisdom can continue to grow. It doesn't fall, man. And that's what we're trying to learn right now. We need to have towers of wisdom, not mushroom cloud towers, because that's where these kings right now are drowning in their ability to actually lead us properly, and we need to figure that out. It's like they're the whole world's in an emotional upheaval. It's like the floods again, you know. And so it's like the King of Wands and the cattail energy. They could live in water. That's where they live for sure. But the tops are always dry, right? Like I said, you know. And so, but if the floods keep, if the emotions or everything becomes in such upheaval here, where we're all in like hatred and stuff, like, which is really, we're having some bad emotions right now in this world that's taken over. And so it's like God's raising them waters again. Well, if the waters go all the way up over the top of the head of the cattail and it stays there, the cattail drowns too. And there's no ability anymore to illuminate any kind of bright ideas out of their head that's going to build towers that are good for everybody. That all towers are going to crumble, man. And all the wands are going to rot in that water, you know, because that's going to be rotten, stinking, nasty ass water. And we're all going to be standing around going, this sucks. And if they bomb the fuck out of us, we're going to be like, this sucks, because all them rich ass motherfuckers, they already went underground. Huh? Yeah? Suck. Underground, right? Yeah. Oh, suck. Underground, yeah? Underground. They ain't got no cash value, man. Them motherfuckers, they already know that shit. They're trying to cash out and hide underground while we all fucking drown in this fucking turmoil that they're trying to fucking work up, man. They're lying, you know? King of Wands can lie. The King of Wands can lie, but the cattail can work with water, but if they don't know their alchemy, they could drown too, you know, like I'm saying, right? And so even though the cattail has a lot of stability and a lot of security, in the fucking in the water like that and everything, you know. If the water comes up too high, cattail will drown, you know. And so that what makes them safe will also drown them. Same goes for like a blackberry, you know. If a blackberry that grows on dry ground, well, yeah, they could grow on dry ground. That's where they grow. They don't grow in the water. But if you have a drought, that blackberry will die, you know. That's what it is, man. Anyhow, mallow. Mallow's coming out here, and that's the it's coming out of the 2 cups, you know, and that's with the that's with the ancient ancestors, right? And I feel I might have been wrong here. They might be correcting me here, you know. I stand corrected here at them because them ancestors actually they're coming out in the sun, I think. They're out here, they got caught up in all this bullshit for sure, you know, but they just weren't able to make that divine union with God Most High the same manner that you are going to be able to do over here with these tutus, you know, in this coin energy. Because see, this energy right here is breaking ancestral curses. It's breaking free from the things that have held us back. It's seeing the wisdom in the intellectually way to detoxify ourselves, you know, and detoxify our energy so that we can step into this Purselane energy right here and be abundant and bring that abundance and that wealth and that spiritual prosperity to our lineage, to our family bloodline, because we have been feeling left out in the cold and stuck and dark and beaten and not seen, you know, not recognized, not known. But now they feel you, you know, and the mallow, I was talking about mallow one time, you know, you can take the seeds off of mallow and you could make a pectin out of them. And then you add eggs whites, beat the egg whites or whatever, and then you add them to that pectin, you know. And then you make real marshmallows with those and sugar, add some sugar, you know. And so then, I really want to do that. But that's a sweet thing, you know. Mallow's a sweet, I mean, marshmallows, man. I mean, come on now. If we're going to define 2 cups, marshmallow is like 2 cups, right? Marshmallow is like, 2 cups is like, shit, man, that's like chocolate and marshmallows, right? But then you want that 3 cups, you fucking throw some graham crackers on there and you got s'mores, you know? And so that 2 cups is pretty good. If you got chocolate and marshmallows, you're still doing pretty fucking good. But you throw in that graham cracker, you got that 3 cups, you're fucking loving life. But, you know, we're pre-graham cracker right here, but that's good. The ancestors are stoked, you know? They're sitting around your fire and they got marshmallows and they got chocolate, you know? But they know that that Most High's coming with them graham crackers and we're ready to celebrate. That's cool, man, because they're feeling healed, you know? Because you're helping them understand that you don't got to buy them poison marshmallows that they sell at the store with all the ink in it and all them other shit that they don't got to add to that shit, that you just pick some fucking stuff out of here, out of God's green earth, and you found some sugar, a little bit of sugar, and then you, maybe honey even, you can do it with honey, right? And then you got some eggs out of your chickens, because I got chickens out here now, I got ducks too, man, so I can make duck egg fucking marshmallows, right? And so you took what God gave you, and you've seen the abundance and the natural way that God's provided it for you, and you relished in that as Purselane, and you made the choices that you need to make, you know. And so you had a little mallow in your garden, you know, because the Purselane will grow well under the mallow, and you didn't let it get taken over by the chickweed. And so now you're making marshmallows, man, and your ancestors got the chocolate, and then you all got passion, so you got fire going, right? That's why you're out here by the sun. And Most High's on their way with them fucking graham crackers, man. That's good shit. That's good shit. You seen through your addictions. You know, you seen through your trauma. You seen through where things in your past life were not really working out the way you want them to work, but now they are now. And you're not saying, oh, that sucks. You're saying, fuck yeah, man. God Most High, thank you. Yeah, see. You're not saying, oh, that sucks. You got 3 swords, which is chicory, and it's the heartbreak, right? The 3 swords, and that's 3 swords in your heart. That's the 3 swords in your heart that have been caused in you. That's the you know, these 2 swords over here. The 2 swords are the ones that are in your hand, right? And there's 3 swords, but the 1 sword that was the decision that you had to make, you know. And you made that decision. That's the decision that you had to make. That was the decision that was holding you back. It was keeping you in this Jack of Wands energy, this Jack of Clubs, as the bull rush. You know, the bull rush is a sedge. You know, toolies. You know, it's kind of like the cattail a little bit. And so, but it's not as abundant as the cattail is, and so, but it also grows in water, and it's a little smaller, it's like the younger version of the cattail. It has a smaller kind of like similar. It's similar, like they grow in the same environment and everything, but the cattail definitely is king in the bulrush environment, right? And so this is the growth that you had to experience so that you could recognize where you were operating in that King of Wands energy. Like you had to look back into your past and see the things that caused you to be tempted, that were causing you grief, the things that you were addicted to, So as you were becoming a king, you were able then to look at yourself as this jack, as a smaller plant that was there, kind of like lower than you, below you, but that's just you before you became you as that king and that cattail energy with that fiery head, right? And so you're looking at yourself and you're kind of like remembering when you're in that suck fucking energy, you're like, oh God, man, everything sucks, right? You're like, oh, suck, And so now you decided that you're, that whole time you're in that position, you're like, oh man, this sucks, but the king is like telling you, yeah, well, spit it out or start sucking, and I think you're going to decide to spit it out because you're going to make that choice, you're done with these fucking low level fucking bullshit out here. You're done with this fucking addictive fucking stuff that's just holding you back, and as it's holding your ancestors back from having that great camping trip with the divine one, with the Most High, making s'mores, man. And that's why now you're going, no, not I suck. I'm fucking free as fuck over here. I'm in this 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands energy with this divine connection, this agreement that I've made that's healing the ancestors around me and fucking lead me into a higher space with the divine one, man. And that's awesome. That's fucking righteous, and a lot of people, they would say use that word righteous lightly or whatever. They might judge you even for saying something like that nowadays. I've noticed some people that way, you can't call yourself righteous. But if you're righteous, you're righteous. And if you're this motherfucker with the freedom coin who's made these hard decisions over here, that's got the abundance coming in and everything, and you're like that right there, motherfucker, you're righteous. that is. I'm not gonna argue with spirit about that, That's what it is, man. Yeah, so 8 of Cups, bottom deck, They're asking you to walk away from all nonsense. This is what it is, Make the right choices. And that's going to make when you do that, take that 8 of Cups energy there, right, from the bottom of the deck, you combine it with that 2 of Cups over here that your ancestors are feeling, that gives you 10 Cups. And that's that union with Most High. So make those decisions. The abundance is there for you in that Purselane energy, You just got to fucking see it. You got to quit buying the bullshit that they're selling you. Save that fucking coin because it's yours, right? That's your spiritual wealth. That's your spiritual value. Well, quit spending that shit on trash, that is fucking killing you. Like, yep. Right, spirit? They told me they don't want me to say that no more, right? Because they say it's annoying when I say right spirit. They say it's annoying because it's like they're like, yeah, of course, dumbass. It's like, it's disrespectful of me, man. And so they kind of reprimand me a little bit. They just talk shit. They don't really reprimand me, but they're right. They're right. They're right. They're always right. And so I shouldn't say right spirit because it's kind of rude, like I need to work on that, like as to be a better friend to them, I need to work on that energy there, because of course they're right. That's why I should just be like, and we know spirit's right, it's like, that's what spirit says, and we know spirit's right. And so it's like, of course it's right? I guess I'll say right to you guys. Do you hear spirit? You hear spirit, right? Spirit says that's fair. appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Appreciate you for always being right, because this world's confusing, man. There's so much in it this world. I don't know how you guys do it. I really don't. You know, fucking hang in there. You keep fucking pushing, man. I see the things. I see what you do. You guys work hard. Fuck yeah, you do. God's lucky to have y'all, too, you know. And we're lucky to have you, too. I fucking love you. I think there's big rocks trying to fall over. Alright, Spirit. What we got over here with these twos. We'll go over here with these 2 swords, Spirit. We'll hear about the Coke ball. Coke balls be coming out a lot, right? But that's why. It's a mentality, you know? It's a thought process, right? Both them cards came out propped up right on the moon, man. So it's thought process, right? It's our intuition. Yeah, man, I got choices that we have to make. Because this is that 3 cups right here, you know? But it's coming out in the reverse, which is on the... and it's coming out with the temperance, right? And that's on these 2s over here. And so... you know, we're trying to get to the 3 cups with our ancestors over here, you know? And so, like, this is, you know, it's like, because, see, with the 3 of cups, it's coming in here like this, is saying that the ancestors, right? Because when they first came out, when this energy first came out, I said that these ancestors right here were kind of a little bit of a negative feeling energy, you know? That they were kind of feeling like maybe, like karmic, you know, but I think that I mistook that nervousness that I felt off their energy initially as karmic, because they're nervous, right? Because they know that what's at stake, you know, because they hold that 2 of cups. It's like they got the marshmallows over here, you know, and so it's like we got the chocolate or whatever, you know, and they know that God's gonna come to that fucking party, but if we don't show up with the chocolate, then they still ain't gonna have s'mores, man, you know. And that's that 3 of cups energy that we're trying to get to, you know. But right now, because we're still trying to cut the things, we're still trying to allow, like, Spirit has got those ancestors kind of waiting, because they're like, well, yeah, you know, like, we got to have chocolate before we can have that camping trip where we make s'mores and everything. And so if these motherfuckers over here don't make that right choice, well, we can't really go there, you know. We're not going to go there. And so that 3 of cups is kind of still... it's like you're right there, kind of, if you make the right choices, but those cups ain't full yet. And so it's kind of like we need to really make the right choices here intellectually over the things that are holding back our abundance, because without our abundance, we can't buy that chocolate. We can't have that chocolate. That chocolate represents abundance, right? And so if we show up to the party without that abundance, then, well, we're not going to have s'mores. Our ancestors ain't going to be healed like that and shit, you know, like we're trying to do here. We're trying to break them curses. And so the only way we could break them curses and turn this cup in the upright position, which we're trying to do, and have it land with that mallow over there, you know, is when we make that right choice. And so with the temperance card coming out in the reverse here, is saying to me that yeah, see, we're on the earthly realm right now because we're the earth angel, right? And so, but we got to see that. And so we can't be tempted. We're torn right now because of this Coke bottle over here at these 2 swords, you know, with that chickweed. It's trying to put them vines around us and drag us down and everything. And that's caused us to suffer a little bit with our abundance over here with this two coins, right? And so with this 2 coins, with the coin, you know, with the coin is our earth, our abundance, right? With that pinnacle coin. And then the Coke bottle with that 2 swords and everything, right? That's us trying to break ancestral curses and everything. And this is what's at stake, you know? Because we're an earth angel. If we don't see the choice right here with this 2 swords, it's right. If we don't let God swing that sword for us, then we're not allowing God to use us as earth angels like we should be used, you know? And so we're not curing the ancestral trauma that we have, and we can't have that 3 swords or that 3 cups. And so... But that's up in the balance. That's why both of them came out on that moon, because we're seeing it right now. We're seeing that what's at stake, you know, because like that's what's at stake for the entire world, because these energies are coming out around the world, you know. But and we know that that's our choice right now, and so we're sitting on that precipice of making that choice. We know intuitively that we need to manifest these choices properly into the physical world that we're in, into our physical experience. But we're trying to make sure that we're doing this in a manner that's intuitively correct now. Like, we're trying to take our time on these decisions and definitely make sure that we're not the ones swinging those swords, because in the long run, God wants us to have chickweed and purselane in our garden because they're both valuable assets. It's just knowing how to properly manage your garden. That's how we protect ourselves from the spiritual attack that we're experiencing, and that this king of wands over here with this cattail energy, you know. And see that bottle, that Coke bottle, it's trying to hide now. It's trying to run away from me. You see that? It's trying to go away from this. It's trying to pretend like, nah, you don't see me. That's what that blindfold is, you know. But this King of Wands is gonna fall if they don't see it. That's what's up, man. They need to fucking look at that shit. They can't hide. They can't hide from this. We can't hide from this. That's what that temperance is coming out in the reverse, you know. And the reverse, they're dumping that water. Well, the reverse, the temperance is dumping that water, and the going up, right? If it's in the reverse, but the 3 cups is in the reverse as well, and so those 3 cups are in the reverse down, right? And so God's trying to get us to see that we're alchemists. And so even though our earth angel energy has been turned upside down on its head, we're still pouring that water and defying gravity directly upwards into our cups that are our 3 cups that appear to be spilled in that reverse position. But as we manifest better, as we transmute that energy, we take that temperance energy and then we fill the 3 cups with our fucking power as an earth angel, as an alchemist, and we turn that card upside down because our positivity is going to outweigh the balance, and then the wheel spins and then we get that joy, you know. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're working on. That's what we're doing, you know. And that's why the freedom card, it came out here as the 5 of Cups, but on sideways position. You know, we can read it sideways if we want, but we can just read it as 5 of Cups. Which 5 of Cups just saying that we're seeing past this time in our lives. We're seeing past this point, right, where we are no longer trying to make a decision. You know, we are now passing that test where we're seeing the power that we have to transmute them energies, and we know we had to make some decisions. We had to let some of that shit go. Them three cups that were right here, that's like Squirt, Coca-Cola, orange soda, or like Dr. Pepper, fucking Bart's root beer, Coca-Cola, I don't know, you can call it whatever you want. Tobacco, alcohol, firearms, I don't know what the fuck it is, man. Pornography, fucking adultery, and fucking sodomy. I mean, you name it, whatever the fuck it is. You know, lust, greed, power, I mean, whatever the fuck it is, you know? That's what's in those 3 cups. But you willingly kick them over, you know? And so you're looking down at that shit, you're going, damn, man, how'd I ever fucking fall for that shit? But you're protecting those 2 cups behind you, because those 2 cups now are you severing the ties that you have with the worldly things that are around you, and accepting that guidance from your ancestors over here. See, that's these 2 cups that your ancestors have been holding for you, you know, because they know you could do this thing. They knew you could do it. They knew that you weren't so strung out. They knew that it wouldn't kill you to kick it, you know? And they've asked you to kick it all, and you did. You know, you took every fucking thing that brought them down, you know, every sword that they fell on. You know, you came into this world with those swords stuck in your fucking heart, but you've been able to remove every fucking one of those, and that set them free, man. And so that's where you're in this position here, because that was you right before the change and this freedom. When you set yourself free, you made that union with God Most High, and you started listening to God Most High, and then that opened up all them fucking doors, man. And every single one of them ancestors that was trying to get through to you, to try to tell you, hey, look, I did it the hard way and I failed. Hey, look, I did it the hard way and I failed. Hey, look, I did it the hard way and I failed. Hey, look, I did it the hard way and I failed. Hey, look, I did it the hard way and I failed. You didn't fucking hear them, you know? And they kept telling you, but then you made that union with God Most High. You kicked them 3 fucking cups over, and you freed yourself, and that opened up your fucking ears, man. And that gave you something to talk about, you know? That gave you that fucking reason to live, you know? That was the fucking arrowhead and the shaft of the arrow that you fucking let go of your fucking... When they let go of that arrow, then it hit your fucking heart, man. And it didn't pierce your heart, but filled it with love, you know? Set you on motherfucking fire. Why is this King of Wands right here still beat up here, Spirit? And then water's riding over their head. They're going to rise above them waters. What are they doing, Spirit? Tower in the reverse, you know? And so, like I said, man, if the emotional fortitude of this king allows them to burn on top, right? And create that light, that beacon of light that could never fall, because this tower right here is in the reverse. It does not fall. The tower in the upright position, that tower is falling, you know. But if you look at these individuals, see these two right here? Those two, they're flying upwards. That energy is being transmuted. And there's 2 cups waiting for them, and the other cup's already full with God Most High, you know. And that's that divine union. That's that contract that you signed over here. And so you've tamed your passions and gained your freedom, and you kicked them cups over as that king. You said, nah, fuck it, I ain't afraid to drown, man. You know, and you say, I can't have all water in my kingdom. That's dark water that's fucking drowning my ass. I gotta fucking be on solid ground too. You know, I gotta have my fucking roots in the water, in the mud, and keep me fucking tame. But I gotta keep my head up there high, where I can make that tender, and I can start that fire, and I can fucking illuminate the world that's around me. You know. And she showed him all how to transmute that shit properly, you know. But if you look here, because these ones right here, though, this king right here really needs to understand their water, because see, they their passions and everything, everything's fleeing from them from this tower right here. This is that old way of thinking. That's what them swords cut out, because the fire that was burning was too hot. The passions were too hot. There's too much fire for this king. They didn't have control over their passions. They may be angry about shit, or hot-headed, or pissed off about everything that was going on around them. And that was clouding their thinking and dividing them from their connection with the Most High. And so Most High is like, hey, we're going to have to turn that fucking tower over and put that fire out. Because like your fucking wands are burning on the top, you know. But they're trying to expose you to your emotions. So they're trying to tell you, look, we're going to dunk your head in the fucking water, because we're going to raise the waters around you. We're going to drown that fire that's causing you the grief, that's making you dive out of that tower. They're asking your spiritual self to dive out of your fucking metaphysical, or your physical, understand your metaphysical a little better emotionally, you know, and dive into the fucking cups that God Most High has for you, because there's 3 cups waiting for you. But you got to jump up into those cups and understand that water's not falling out. Your spiritual energy is what fills them cups. Your divine union with yourself, your masculine and feminine that's inside of you, is going to join that 3rd cup that is God Most High. And then you have the abundance that you need, the chocolate that you need to sit down with your ancestors over here, bring in that 3 of cups, and use that fire then to make s'mores. You know, the s'mores do not suck. No, they don't suck. No, s'mores are good, man. What sucks is having a broken heart, you know, is being immature about knowing your passions and everything. You know, what sucks is having to go through what this king had to go through to understand why God had to bring that tower, how to put that fire out, you know. You know, God had to put that fire out, teach you how to swim. And so, yeah, that sucks. But it doesn't suck as bad as like a nuclear warfare, you know. That would suck. If we all don't start to learn this shit, we might fucking be in that position, you know. Spirit. What's that? Suck underground people fucking. Yeah, they suck. But got a hermit on the bottom of the deck right here, which the hermit on the bottom of the deck tells you it's time to fucking speak up, or else that's gonna be your fault. time to hear. It's time to see the truth. You know, it's no longer time for you to be in the shadows. You know, the hermit has that lantern. The lantern illuminates inside themselves, right? And so when the hermit's in the upright position, that time that they're in the upright position, they're deep within. They're seeking within. They're alone. They're hunting. They're trying to figure out what it is inside themselves, right? That makes them tick. What's causing everything to suck, you know? And so the hermit has to go underground, but that hermit came out in the upright position, but it's on the bottom of the deck. And so that doesn't mean you're quite there yet, but you're trying to cut through the bullshit. That's why you got to take that little bit of time out, you know? But I'm thinking that timeout period might be coming to an end, you know, but we'll ask Tara. What do you know, Tara? What do you know, Spirit? What do you got here on Tara? So they say, yeah, you know, because you're in that, didn't have that contract yet signed with the Most High, but we've already solved that problem over here at this Freedom Coin, you know. So you're no longer in this suck fucking energy, right? You stepped out of that. You made the decisions that you need to make because you've seen that without the God Most High, that all those wands behind you were wands that were working against you. That was the black magic that was bringing you down, you know. That was their deals that they were making over here with the practitioners or whatever the fuck they were doing that was causing you the grief that made you feel like you couldn't defend yourself. Well, you had to accept the fact that, you know, you never had to defend yourself in the first place because God fights all your fucking battles. And that's what turned that fucking energy in the upright position into that 4 wands or union with God. And so they can have 9 wands, but shit, you only need 4 wands to whoop the shit out of them. You know, and that's the truth because you don't got to fight your own battles anymore. It doesn't suck for you. And it's not underground. It's coming into the broad light of day, you know, so everybody can fucking see it. That's why that hermit popped out just briefly on the bottom of the deck in the reverse position right there, because they're saying, nah, let your light shine. God signed a contract with you, and that's the fucking, that's the manager you want, you know? Honestly, that's the record contract that you want to sign. That's who you want to fucking deal with. And guess what? Many are called and few are chosen. There's not a whole lot of people get signed on that dotted line, so you're blessed, motherfucker. You should appreciate that. You should appreciate your ancestors for holding that fucking shit over there for you and letting you know this whole fucking time that you're here to make marshmallows. You're not here to fucking deal with shit. And so here you are. And so no, you're here so they can make marshmallows, but you're supposed to go out there and get that motherfucking chocolate. And they're like, well, are they going to do it or are they not going to do it? And a lot of them have tried, and every one of them has fallen because that's on you now, man. You're going to do that alone, so you're a bad motherfucker. That's 1000% bad motherfucker, you know? It's like when we all start fighting these fucking battles, right? And we all start doing this shit, it's not that we're going to do it all completely alone. But we do it alone because, yes, this is in our internal fucking battlefield. This is our fucking, our war zone, you know? And so, as one fucking defeats the past fucking demons, there's probably one out there who's gathered up more demons, you know? And so for a family to keep their shit clean and keep their shit righteous, we all got to clean our own closet. So it's like we live in a mansion together, right? That's a spiritual community. We're a collective. We're all in this big ass fucking house. We all live together. We all share the same kitchen and shit. We share the same bathroom and everything. We have our own rooms. We have our own closets. Well, if you got one of them ancestors that's got a messy ass motherfucking room, it stinks up the whole house. If they don't wash their laundry and they don't fucking take the old food out of their room and all that fucking shit, it stinks up the whole house. You get one fucking ancestor that don't fucking lift the seat, they piss all over the fucking seat, right? It pisses off every fucking feminine in the house, right? That's just what it is. And every feminine in the house is blaming every masculine because if nobody admits to it, who knows who's pissing on the seat, right? And so we gotta be willing to call out our ancestors that are pissing on the seat. If we know it's them, we go to the bathroom after them, we're like, nah, that motherfucker pissed on the seat. And then we know what we tell everybody else, that motherfucker pissed on the seat, man. And we can do that because we don't piss on the seat. And that's just what it is. And so we're trying to bring that 2 cups energy to the mansion that all of our ancestors live in, that we live in together. And that's this fucking God's green earth. That's God's kingdom. That's God's entire everything, man. And the more of us that see ourselves in a divine fucking union with God Most High, then we're all cleaning our fucking rooms and we're cleaning our closets and we ain't got no fucking weird outdated shit going on that's going to cause grief for everybody else in the fucking house. We don't got flies collecting around our fucking room because it smells like something dead in there. And instead, we got nice smelling incense and fucking candles and stuff, and we fucking do the dishes and everything's tight. We cook fucking dinner, and we all work together collectively, and we make a beautiful fucking home out of that shit. And that's what we're trying to fucking do, man. Yeah, it's easy for me. I'm just with my spirit team, you know? It'd be cool to have people collectively be in that vibe, and I want to see more of that. We just need to start to really detoxify ourselves. As we detoxify ourselves and clean our own rooms, we can detoxify those that are fucking around or that we could channel to come in or whatever, I guess. Those that we can manifest are going to come in, they're going to know how to clean their own fucking room, right? When we start inviting people into our spiritual mansion, because we all are sitting in spiritual mansions right now, but they're fucking empty, you know? And so we got rooms and rooms and rooms, but we live in the most divine, beautiful fucking damn mansion. You ever seen castles, man? Castles, I'm fucking emperor and empress and all in one, man. I'm sitting on an entire fucking empire with fucking castles available to fucking motherfuckers, you know? It's like, yeah, come on in. Fucking, there's your castle over there on that fucking 350 fucking million acres over there, wherever the fuck it is. God's gonna give us ever-ending abundance, you know, in my mansion that I'm building in the sky with the Most High, right? And so right now, though, they've been allowing us to build that mountain, to expand that space, and to really make it an empire like we've been building here. You know, we're all trying to get there. We're all trying to be that emperor and that empress of our empire. We're there. We're getting there. You know, and it's almost, we're putting the finishing touches on it right now. You know, and so as it comes together, then those spaces are going to be available for us to invite. You know, spiritually first, and then that's going to happen in the physical, of course. You know, but like. The energies are gonna match, and the people that show up, they're gonna fucking, if they have a whole fucking kingdom of your, so if they have the whole fucking heart, they're like 50% ruler of your kingdoms of your heart, you know, of love and shit. Then you know damn good well they're not gonna fucking soil it, you know, that they're gonna take care of their half, right? And same goes for anybody that you're gonna engage with and connect with it intellectually or financially. Or in the fucking physical, in the sense of the earthly, in your passions, you know. And so I guess my passions are like people that you enjoy hobbies with. And it's not just sex, you know. It's not just wands. Like it's passions. It's like if you find somebody that you like to go fishing with, or you like to go hiking with, or something that just really you both really enjoy, that person's gonna show up. And they're going to be 50-50 on that. They're going to be your king or queen of that, you know, and you're going to be their king or queen of that, whatever you're doing together. You guys are going to meet equally, you know, because that means that all of your empires, all your kingdoms within your empire are completed and whole. And that's where we're coming into, you know. And so the motherfuckers that you invite to come live with you in your mansion, they're going to fucking know how to wash dishes. You know? They're going to respect your space, you know. They're going to know how to have conversation. They're going to know how to communicate. And they're going to know how to love, right? And they're not going to expect you to pay all the fucking bills either. They're going to show up. And they're going to fucking contribute too, you know. They're going to make it easy. And they're not going to look at it like it's like you're an empire and so they're just renting a room. If somebody's going to fucking come into your shared experience with you, these individuals are going to come in. They're going to be like, no, we split it 50-50 everything. No matter what, it's like I'm responsible for you, like you're responsible for me, because we love each other. We're family, you know. We're ancestors now. We're a divine union, you know, and so that's good. But we have to do that within ourselves first, and so that's the finishing pieces. We're learning how to do this shit. We're learning how to wash our own dishes. We're learning how to do our laundry. We're learning how to mop our floors. We're learning how to be available to ourselves, right? And free ourselves from these things that have caused us to be felt bound and everything, you know, and to live in fear, to live in addiction, and to live in lack. And so now we're stepping into that real, that union. Our ancestors are seeing how we're listening to them, you know? And that's awesome, man. That's like fucking good work. You know, all of us. Good work. You know, oh yeah, we got plenty of time. Yeah, good. So anyways, you know, we're talking about Amanda in the first place. That's like with her. You know, that person's also doing these things. You can tell. You know, you watch her energy. You watch how she's read yesterday. I watched several of her reads yesterday, and you can see at the end of the day, you know, she did her last reading and she was feeling a little tired and everything. You know, and like so she's definitely working with it too. You know, the same energies or whatever are affecting her life. However, they're affecting her life. However, they're playing out. And so she's fighting them wars, you know, but you can see that. And so we need to know that we're all fighting these wars together, no matter what, where we are, who we are, how we are, what we get, what we gain from each other in the physical, because like that doesn't fucking matter, because like we so powerfully affect each other in the metaphysical, you know, and we have the same shared experience so we can really relate with each other. And that's beautiful. That's our ancestors. And so there's an ancestral connection there somehow or another, you know, and that's why the same spirits work with her that work with me, you know. And this world right now is so diverse. We're all so genetically intermingled, you know. We're all related to somebody from any part of the fucking world. We're all connected ancestrally in a way that it's impossible to be like, you know, I know it's like almost everybody's I got one or two spirits that fucking talk with the spirits of almost every single motherfucker out here on this planet, you know. And that's the truth. Some of us just have a little bit more, you know, right? All right, spirit. Spirit. It didn't say that. I never have spirits. Hey guys, you know, these are the ones with marshmallows, man. You know, we're gonna get a card on them. Cause they're old, you know. That's like this coin. Like I said, I mean, this coin. Fuck, who knows how many times around the world this coin's been. I think this is an old Yeah, there's another one that's like a Turkish coin. It's Ottoman. It's an Ottoman coin, you know. And so it's an Arabian Middle Eastern coin, you know. But yeah, you can't even see it. It's so old. It's so worn out. I mean, it's like old. These coins are very old, 1700s or whatever, you know. And so they, and in fact, like I know that myself because I have hazel eyes. I'm Persian, you know, and so who knows? This coin could have been a coin that I could have handled way back then or whatever too. You know, you never know. But that's ancestors, right? And those ancestors, that bloodline right there, like with my hazel eyes, anybody that's got hazel eyes has Persian blood, you know, like that's the way it works because that they come out of Iran, you know, they're Iranian. It's the same with like in Afghanistan, you know, that even Afghanistan, like the people with green eyes there, it comes out of it's an albinoism. It's a genetic albinoism that's a dominant gene. So you have to have both your parents have to have that gene, and then you have the hazel eyes. And that's for the green-eyed people or the blue-eyed people up north, like the Scandinavians, or like the green-eyed people in Ireland and shit like that. Anybody with hazel eyes has the that dominant gene, you know. And that's from Persia, you know. So think about that. I mean, that means that my ancestors have. That means that I'm connected to so many people around this world ancestrally, right? Now I'm trying to bring a two-cup union to that, you know. I'm trying to cut through the bullshit, and that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm talking about me right now. I'm talking about what Shesh is trying to do, why the spirits talk to me, you know? And so when I speak, I'm trying to speak from the place that represents all of these spirits, all of these ancestors, because, I mean, if I'm connected to that many people through my hazel eyes, just my hazel eyes alone, then I'm connected to everybody, man. And so our fucking, I would say 99% of us, at this point, we're all connected, you know? That's why the Queen of Swords is on the bottom of the deck right there, right? That Queen of Swords right there. See, that Queen of Swords doesn't fuck around with chicory, and that two of Swords, that Queen of Swords is not afraid to cut chicory back because they know how abundant it is. They know how fucking robust it grows. The Queen of Swords is aware of the fact that the chicory is really tender and it's yummy and it's good like that when it's young and it's kind of like just growing initially. You put it in salads, but when it gets full grown, it becomes kind of a tough, tangly, kind of obnoxious vine that gets around your fucking weed whacker and stuff. It gets stuck in your socks. It makes these little birds that get stuck in your socks and seeds and stuff, you know? So it's like, it could be a real nuisance too, you know? And so that queen understands what that Two of Swords energy is coming out in that chicory. Not because chicory's bad. It's just that you got to know how to make the right decisions and cut the bullshit out. Or you got to know when the right time is to cut it out, right? And so it's like, it's a matter of making the right decisions at the right time and not being tempted by the things that can take dominance and over control you, you know, because that's what the Coke bottle is coming out with that chicory, because that's just saying that if you're not careful, if you don't take this, if you don't harness that Queen of Swords energy, then that Coke bottle is going to cause grief and everything, you know, and that's what your ancestors want you to know, and that's why they're coming out on the bottom of the deck there with that Queen of Swords. What else we got from the spirit ancestors? So yeah, that's it. That Queen of Swords still dropped out. You see that? Still dropped out. Sometimes they do that. Coming off the bottom of the deck, you know. And so they really want you to think about that energy, that Queen of Swords energy. That's why they had it on the bottom of the deck there like that. Yeah, see? Because they go together. And so your ancestors are telling you that's why when I first started this read, you know, they came out with that slightly more of a negative energy, karmic energy, or whatever I was feeling, you know, because they were grieving over the past decisions that they made. But they knew damn good well that they chose you for a fucking reason because you are Queen of Swords, you know. And so you're going to make the right decisions. And that's all that needs to be said about that. They're waiting there with them marshmallows, you know, man. Go get that chocolate, you know. That's what they're saying. Now's the time, you know, that you got this shit, that you already see, you've evaluated yourself, right? You've really taken enough time here to self-evaluate with these energies right here. This is the time that you've struggled and grieved in and all that stuff and everything, you know? And so, right here, you know, because that's what's held your abundance back or whatever. And so that's that Coke bottle with them fucking coils with them, but those energies. And that time you were not awoken yet, you know, you were still waking up, but and you knew you had a lot of decisions to make in order to wake up. But when you were willing to make those decisions and you realized without fear that when you kick those cups over, that the cups that you've kicked over were what kept you from being free, but now you're free and you make that divine union with God Most High. You know, you realize then in that moment that as the tower falls around you, you rise up. The fire that's being put out is the illumination. Is what's going to teach you how to swim, because if that fire never would have gotten started, you may never have jumped into those cups. You may have never jumped into that water that's going to free you, you know? You never would have set sail on that journey or joined the Most High like that, because Most High had them cups waiting for you, you know? And for anybody that wanted to block that, or stand in the way of that, or accuse you of being immature or causing you grief, or trying to force you to feel like you don't have that union with Most High, they go underground. Suck. They suck. It's like, suck. Go underground. They ain't never gonna spit it out, so they go ahead and just suck it, because that's just what they are, suckers anyways. You know? They go hide underground, and what's going to be funny is that they're going to hide underground. They're going to think, oh, we're going to go hide underground. We're going to outsmart all these motherfuckers. We're going to bring this whole ending down on them and everything underground. We're going to go underground, and they're stupid. We're going to fuck them up. God's going to be like, ha ha. And then we're going to have them all caught up, sucking it underground. And then we're going to board up them fucking doors that they thought they're going to lock us out with and fucking show us our demise. They're going to board them doors up then, and they're going to be stuck inside themselves and underground, and it's going to suck for them. And they'll never get out of that. That's just what it is, you know? That sucks. And that's like, it sucks. Oh, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It does. When you don't make that contract with God Most High, you don't win your battles. And that's not the war we're fighting. And so let them go hide underground. That's cool. It's good. It's what it is. And we ain't worried about it. Yeah. We ain't worried about it because our ancestors ain't worried about us, you know? And we're getting ready to bring in that chocolate. Man, I love chocolate. I love s'mores, man. And I love fire. And so when we sit there and watch it burn, and they hide underground, Most High's gonna show up with them fucking graham crackers, and we're gonna have s'mores, man. And that's fucking celebration. And that's why we're fighting this war. That's why we're trying to get through it all. That's what we're doing here, you know? And that's why we're God's wisdom. That's why we're the voice of God. That's why we have every right to fucking speak it in the name of God. And we have every right to announce ourselves as being righteous individuals and to being angels, you know? And they can call us whatever names they want. They can call us Satan. They call us the devil. They call us the Antichrist. They call us whatever they want. And they're wrong. They're liars. And that's going to be exposed when that fucking their fire is put out, and we elevate into God's cups, you know, filled with light, and that fire that never burns, you know. Yeah, I love you guys. I love everybody. I love the fact that right now there's so fucking damn many of us on this planet that we gotta know we're getting close to having 144,000 of us that's righteous, right? That just makes sense. I mean, because like, that just makes sense, you know? It really does. Like it's like the higher the numbers are, you know, right? The more the possibilities. So we're getting closer. And that's just like awesome because we're so fucking powerful, you know? If it's a number of games like that, like, right? We're supposed to be very rare. Well, if there's just billions and billions, like there is, like, you know, however fucking they say, a lot of us on here. I know that. And so, like, that just increases the odds of there being closer to 144,000 of us. I mean, amen, right? So that means we're winning these battles, right? And that light's going to shine again. We're going to get back to that time when God was here with us, you know, more prevalent on earth, you know, and everything was beautiful. Like, everything was different. I remember those times, you know. I remember it very clearly. I'm an ancient individual, you know. And that's what this is about, you know. Because our ancestors are asking us to have that responsibility. You know, they're going to sit up there in that 2 cups because they've already fought their battles and everything. And they know now that to keep fighting ours would be just to hinder us because we are that Queen of Swords. And it's time, you know, we're ready to take that responsibility and cure the shit that's been holding them all back. And they're excited about that. And we're excited about that because it's an exciting thing to be excited about. You know, we're in exciting times. There's so much change that's going on around us right now, you know, and it's fearful and it can be easy to fall victim to the fear. There's a lot of things that people are afraid of right now, but that's not us, you know, because we don't roll in our fear. We don't roll like that. Never, never again, never. That's them cups that we kicked over, you know. Fear was one of them cups for sure. For sure, you know. And if you notice, if you notice in this 5 of cups, you know, that the 2 cups that are behind this individual are empty, but the ones that are on the ground have the contents that are spilled out of them, because you're really seeing the things that were toxic that you had to shed, you know, and that's opening up those 2 cups behind you for you to fall into and be caught by God Most High when that tower falls. That's awesome. And that's balance. See? That's how we balance shit out. And that's why there's all these 2s on the table, man. And that's why after we eliminate the things that causing us to be so far out of balance, when we dump those cups out, that balance comes into our lives and we could make those decisions properly, you know. And that's what we're trying to do here. And we have to, we have to have the willingness to persevere, you know, to have the perseverance, right? And so we have to have that willingness because yeah, the willingness is that King of Wands, to have that willingness to not only just see things from the things that are over unbridled passions. You know, they can't just be focused on unbridled passions. They got to know how to water their garden as well. And so, like out here, you know, I burn my fields in the fall, but I water them in the spring, and that's what makes it grow. And so I have to know how to use those energies properly, because if I try to burn now, I'm gonna burn down my whole property, right? And so I can't burn now. It might be to an unwise king of fire, might go, but it's drier now, so it's gonna burn better. But see, I know better. I burn in the depth of winter when it's wet. You know, I mean, I like to burn right after a rain, and it's hard to get it going. You got to coax it, you got to have a little wind or whatever, but it doesn't ever take off and just burn down your whole forest, you know? And so that's the willingness. See, I have a willingness to listen now to my ancestors, to have that balance, because my ancestors tell me, make hay when the sun's shining, burn your fields when it's raining, you know? And so I know how to make the right decisions. I don't get confused by the temptation to only have that passion. If I was like, well, but I'm fiery, I need a big fire, so I'll burn it when it's dry. Well, I'm gonna burn every fucking thing down, man. And so that's what that is. That's a willingness to let God turn your tower upside down and extinguish the fire if it's necessary, so that you could see those cups that are above you, that are waiting for you, that aren't dumped out at all, but are just waiting for you to know how to swim, you know? Even if you gotta swim in a pool that's upside down, let God hold you in that, and let God give you the perseverance to see that in your willingness, you're always going to be safe, as long as you're willing to let God control your fire, control your passion, or tell you when to burn your fields. Then you're never going to burn down all of your property, you know. And just listen to them, you know. Have that perseverance, because this whole world is trying to tempt you into this suck environment. But when you're down with your head buried in the fucking ground, right, or if you get trapped in them fucking vaults where they think they're going to be safe, because you don't believe that we'll persevere through God, if you buy into their shit that there's something to be afraid of, then you too are going to be boarded up in that fucking darkness, and you can't have fields to burn there, not at all, you know? And so fuck that shit. Let it go. Release it. You know, that's what the ancestors are telling you right here. And trust. Gotta release and trust, man. They put that sword in your hand. You're that queen. And as soon as you make the fucking choices right, and then you cut, you know, and the first thing that you're going to do with that sword is you're going to cut that fucking blindfold that you have on there. You're going to cut that blindfold, and then you're going to see exactly what it is you have in your fucking hands, and you're going to make them choices just fucking right. We already know that, because you make that union with fucking God here, man. That tower doesn't fall on top of your head. You elevate above it. You alchemize that bullshit. You trust and release. You alchemize, and you become more godlike, because that's what you're created to be. They created you in your image, you know? But then they tell you in their book that it's a blasphemy to call yourself God. That's a blasphemy to deny the fact that you're created in the image of your creator, and God lies within you, you know? Does a child not grow up to be like their father? Or does the father tell the child always to be a child, you know? That they're not good enough to be their father? Fuck no. And if the child grows up to be a man or to be a woman, and they have accomplished the same light as their mother or their father or better, then they're considered a failure. And so think about that. Chew on that. Trust that. And release. Make them cuts. You know what I mean? And we're doing this shit. I mean, fuck yeah, we're doing this shit. hey, if we ain't... we're doing this shit. Because that was doing this shit right there. I just gave you all an example of how we do this shit. Very, very good. Spirit just gave through me, gave to you an example of how we do this shit. And we're going to have more stuff coming out here on this channel that we're going to continue to show you how to do this shit. Because that's what needs to be done right now. And that's just what it is, man. As one individual, I can change this world. And by knowing that in my fucking heart, you know, because that's what God tells me, you know, that's what Spirit tells me, you know, then it will be true. And that's just that. And like when somebody says to change this world, you know, there's very subtle ways that we could change this world, but we've still changed the world, you know. And so that's just what it is, man. It's all about energy, you know. And so it's like, everybody should just understand that, you know, and realize and look how God operates, because God Most High is the most powerful fucking energy ever that you're gonna ever deal with, man. They're everything, right? But in their omnipresence, they're invisible. You could deny their existence, and a lot of people do, you know. And that's the way we gotta operate, because that's the way God Most High operates, and they're beautiful for that, you know. And that's powerful, man. Think about it. What Spirit just said is powerful. And so, hey, Spirit God, man, please keep us all safe, man. Thank you for everything in the garden. Thank you for everything in my life. Thank you for everything you've done, man. Everything you do for me, through me, with me, you know. And Purselane's called Pussely. I never knew that. That's cool. I'm gonna call it Pussely from now on. That's my spirit. Hey, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Anyways, I love you, God. Thank you so much, man. And I see your bounty. I watch it grow every day. I love you. I love you. I love your protection. I love everything about you, you know. I got some ducks. I got some chickens, little baby chickens, you know. And I had them on the gravel and everything, so I had a pin. I got them all right. I've done a lot of that stuff. I don't got a pin built. I know I'm kind of pushing it, you know. I got predators out here, whatever, you know. Some skunks and stuff. And so if I moved them, I put them on grass, softer ground, you know. And of course, you know, skunk got 2 of them. You know, I got one of my chickens, one of my ducks, right? But I had 13 of them, and so I still got a good little flock of them, you know. And that was sad. That's the monitoring spirits I've talked about, you know, and everything. But at the same time, in the past, you know, I've had animals go in, and like I've lost like 100 chickens all at once, you know, like, and they could have done that to me, you know, the monitoring spirits, they could have, but God protected me, and they only got one of the little ducks, the smallest duck in the flock, and they got one of the little chickens, the smallest one, you know. And so, like, that's God was telling me, you know, like, to do my job thoroughly, you know. And so, like, I started skipping steps. I went and I did it right. I put some board underneath it, you know. I know how to do this stuff, you know, and like, and that's where we got to make them decisions and really listen to our hearts right now, because that's what this is. That's what God's telling me. That's what farming really teaches you, you know. It's that if you know, like, that's your intuition, you know. And I knew, you know, and like I had on the gravel and I seen some spots that were dug. I kind of thought it was my dog, but I knew better, you know. And he was digging. Every time I yelled at him, he'd look at me like, "What motherfucker, wasn't me, man." And so, but my intuition was telling me, be more careful, you know. And so instead of taxing me completely like they've done in the past because I've been so ignorant, God gave me a little slap on the hand, you know, and I heard them this time, you know. I'm hearing them, and that's really important for all of us right now that are chosen to really understand that, you know. It's like if your gut's telling you, hey, do this, or like respond to this, or say, or whatever the fuck it is. Like with me, like I knew, put something underneath that box. You can't just put it on the ground. Something's gonna dig in there, you know. And I knew that, but I've been allowing the devil to kind of hold me back for so long that I fall victim to that. But I know better because God talks to me, you know. Spirit talks to you too, you know. And so I love you guys, you know. I do. I love everybody. I love it. I love what we're doing. And the more we love that, and the more we love around us, the more that frequency is going to change around the world, and then we all will have more of that love in our heart. We're going to heal that ancestral shit, man, and that's good. That's how we're going to kill the beast. that's where we become like a million parasites inside the beast of the belly. We're like a million ticks on the outside of that belly of that beast, and we suck that fucker dry, and it goes away, and we have God's mighty kingdom, man. And we gonna be they might see us as parasites, but God sees us as angels, and so that's cool. So I love y'all, man. We got this one. Keep yourself safe. Peace out. Love you.